Hey guys, Kelly here. Before we dive into the episode, I just wanted to take a moment to thank everyone for your support during such a fun, exciting, and unfortunately traumatizing season of Yellowjackets, both on the show itself and on the Antler Queens. Interacting with you all during the live after shows on Sundays has seriously gotten me through one of the toughest times of my life, and I will be forever grateful for that. I finally made up a thank you card with the names of all of my patrons and donors, which will be updated as necessary. So please look for that at the end of my videos going forward. It's the same as what you're seeing on the screen. It may not be 100% up to date at the time that I'm posting the video, but it will be updated periodically. As many of you know, I'm legally disabled, so I've turned to content creation as a potential way to start earning income for myself because SSDI, doesn't exactly cut it. I'm in need of urgent surgery to fix my stimulator implant right now. And I'm also in need of ongoing therapy to help keep me safe as the ongoing harassment against me and my channel continues because it's really taken a toll on my mental health. Additionally, I need to prepare for legal fees to pursue a case against some individuals who have been harassing me for quite a long time now. And as you can all see, I need a serious camera upgrade. So if you'd like to support me so that I can continue bringing you content, um, you can do so through any of the methods that you see on the screen right now. If you're listening, don't worry, I'm about to read them off. You can contribute to my medical fund at spot.fund/Kelly Needs Surgery. You can join my Patreon for unedited reaction videos as well as patron hangouts. And that is patreon.com/the Antler Queens. You can send a tip to the Antler Queens on Twitter. You can send a super thanks on any of my YouTube videos. You can send a super chat or super sticker during live streams. You can purchase merch on my YouTube when it becomes available, which should be soon. It's not available yet, but it will be up there soon. And of course, like, subscribe, and share my content. Word of mouth is the best way to grow my following, and liking and commenting on my videos really helps with the algorithm. Also, if you could take a moment to help me combat some of the review bombing I've been getting by leaving a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, that would be wonderful. Um, Also, as previously announced, the Antler Queens is expanding, and the first 2 additional podcasts are coming soon to both of your podcast apps and YouTube. These are Cruel Summer Camp, which is a Cruel Summer podcast, and H Block Queens, a Wentworth podcast. You'll see some rebranding changes, but for now, the Antler Queens name is staying. Also, please get ready to jump on my YouTube channel for a live after party if a bonus Yellowjackets episode happens to come up. There's been a lot of chatter about this, and I don't know if we're going to be getting a warning about it. So I will be doing it the same day that it airs if that happens. So make sure you check my social media and YouTube channel for updates on that. And if we get it without warning and I have to jump out, if I have to jump on YouTube without any preparation, I'm going to do so. And if nobody's there, I'll talk to myself. So, with that said, Nicole was an absolute delight to have on the show. I had such a great time chatting with her. So, I'm really excited for you all to see this episode. So, let's play it. All right. Hey, everybody. You're listening to or watching the Antler Queens podcast, the most inclusive Yellowjackets podcast, where we shove peace, love, and Yellowjackets down your beautiful goddamn throats. I'm Kelly, and today I am here with the fantastic, beautiful, incredible Nicole Maines, aka Lisa from Yellowjackets.
Hi. Thank you for having me. I love that intro.
Oh, I'm so glad.
I was
Thank
like,
you.
oh, damn. Okay, go in. Love it.
Well, I am thrilled to have you here today.
I'm so excited to be here.
Great. I'm so glad. Yeah, I mean, I've just ever since you came on the show, I've just been like, you've been at the top of my list
Thank you
of
so
people that I
much.
wanted to have on. So
Thank
I'm
you so
super
much. That
excited.
means a lot. Thank you. I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I mean, myself as a disabled content creator, my existence, much like yourself as a trans actress, our existences are politicized by default. So I'm kind of always blending activism and representation into my platform. I mean, my philosophy is kind of if we can't get away from it, you can't either.
Listen, that part.
Yeah, I mean, so having somebody like you who provides such great representation in a new fan favorite character on my favorite show.
Thank you so much.
And on top of that, being such a prolific activist, I mean, it's just a great opportunity. So thank you a million times.
Of course. Oh my gosh, no, that's so sweet of you to say. Thank you very much. I think I've said it before and I'm going to continue saying it. I think existing in spaces where people don't want you to exist or where you haven't previously been able to is activism. And
yes,
that's radical. And, just existing and thriving in a culture that would rather you not is rebellious.
Yes, very much so.
And this show is nothing if not rebellious.
Amen. That's what I love about it.
This is the show about women's wrongs.
Yes, celebrating women's wrongs. So, one thing I like to do before we get started on the more interesting chatter,
Yes.
I love to start my shows when I have a special guest with a little speed round questionnaire.
Yay!
So, all of the questions.
Great.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. All of the questions are randomized.
To answer all one question.
I have no idea which ones will come up.
But then also, let me tell you this story. And then also, let's digress into this. I'm like, now do my answers count as part of the time?
You know what? If you manage to only answer one question, that'll be a record in itself. So that'll be something to be proud of.
I'm going to go for it.
So some of them are kind of fun, personal, getting to know you questions.
Okay.
Some are completely ridiculous and nonsensical.
Oh my God, I can't. Hit me.
All right. So I am going to set a timer for 2 minutes. Okay. If you were arrested without explanation, what would your friends and family think you've done?
Oh God. Yelled at somebody.
What is your most used phone app?
Oh, probably YouTube.
What 2 totally normal things become really weird if you do them back to back?
Sex and burying a body.
What's the funniest or craziest thing you've ever done?
Sex and burying a body. No. What's the craziest thing I've ever done? Sued a school.
All right. Yeah. That was good answer.
That was so chaotic of me.
Last dream you remember?
Oh, last dream I remember. I think this is like in my own personal like gender dysphoria and like hangups. I had a dream where all of my friends were getting pregnant and I was very happy for them and very sad for me.
Oh.
And I woke up just being like, that wasn't a nightmare, but I don't feel great.
Oh. I have a lot of dreams like that too. Chickens? How many chickens are necessary to kill a hippo?
Are they organized?
Yes.
$50.
Okay. What smell do you like that most people usually hate?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, that's it. All right. Well,
a little bit of ganja.
You're the first person who didn't pass on anything.
Oh,
and you answered 10 questions with some longer answers. So you did pretty good. Good job. I like it.
Boom. Have you ever met a woman before? Here she is.
Exactly. You represented us well. Damn it.
Yes.
Actually, I think you're the first. I've only had men answer these so far. So, so let's get into some of the the more fun stuff to talk about. Not that wasn't fun, but
I had a blast.
I did too. So next time we have you on, we'll have to do a shot contest.
Yeah. Oh, we'll do like we'll do a I don't know how, like a drunk history Yellowjackets style.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So then Lisa wanders on and she's like, wait, hold up. You just said you're killers? Stop. Also like, no, but also like, for why?
Oh my God.
It'll be great.
I absolutely love it. I love it. For the people watching who don't know, this is a really exciting day for you today.
Mm-hmm.
Well, by the time this comes out, this will be Thursday, so it will be 2 days ago. But yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about the big thing that happened today?
Yeah, well, DC Pride 2023 was just released, which is their third annual Pride anthology featuring a lineup and short stories from all of their LGBTQ plus characters in the DC universe. And it features a brand new 5-page preview of the graphic novel that I'm writing called Bad Dream, A Dreamer's Story. And it's really beautiful. And Rye Hickman does the art, and they have just done a phenomenal job. It is so beautiful and so breathtaking. It's right at the end of the book. So I'm not saying everyone should like skip dinner and go straight to dessert, but I'm just saying I wouldn't blame you if you did read that first and then went back and read the whole thing, because it's so good. It's so good. They always kill it with the Pride anthology.
I'm excited to read it. The cover art that I saw for Bad Dream is beautiful.
Oh my God. The whole thing's like that. It's just stunning work.
Awesome. Actually, I did bring up the covers.
Ah, yes. So she is.
The DC Pride issue.
I'm loving this little like here's looking at you kid moment she's having with Superman.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
She's like, hey boo, and he's like, hey girl. She's like, we out here once again.
I love it. And then here's the Bad Dream cover. Yeah, that's really gorgeous.
God, it's so
Absolutely
pretty. I am obsessed with the way that Rye draws hair. It's like it's such a specific thing, but oh my God, they do it so beautifully.
Yeah, it really is fantastic.
It's so cool.
Now, so tell me about how you came into both acting and writing, and what came first and how they came into your life.
Yeah, I mean, so for me, acting stems naturally from a lifelong love of playing dress up. It was, for me, being that little trans kid who wasn't really permitted to be trans at that point yet. Dress up for me was an opportunity to portray characters and wear clothes that I identified with and that I felt comfortable with. And my parents didn't really say anything about it because they were like, oh yeah, it's just dress up. This isn't indicative of anything larger. So for me, acting is just sort of like the natural progression of that. I did theater through school. My first show was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I played Veruca Salt. Had a blast. Yeah, and just loved it. I did theater every year growing up. And then, yeah, Supergirl came along. I was in Los Angeles filming a movie bit. Well, I guess, so I started acting on screen with Royal Pains which was like a stupid, like lucky, like, you know, shot in a million that I managed to book. So I did that and I shot that in Brooklyn and loved it. And I was like, oh my God, I want to do this forever. So I didn't work again for 4 years. And then I was filming Bit, which is like an indie vampire horror movie written and directed by Brad Michael Elmore, who is one of my best friends now. And that like introduced me to my entire Los Angeles family and all of my close friends now.
Great.
Which is funny it's funny that you asked me about if I was in jail, what would my friends think? And I was like, if I was in jail, Brad's probably there with me. I was like, we probably got into some shit. So I was doing that, and then I had auditioned for Supergirl. I did a self-tape because I did a self-tape in my parents' basement in Maine, and then went out to film this movie. And then while I was there, they asked me if I could send in another self-tape, and they said, well, she's actually in Los Angeles right now. So I went in and I auditioned for the showrunners and the executive producer, and then I got it. And it was like this crazy, like, sepia to Technicolor Wizard of Oz moment. And it was just like boom. And it just happened that it was like because I did Royal Pains and I was like, oh my God, it's all happening. And it was just like nothing. I was so close to giving up, and I was like, okay, it's time to find a realistic dream, a realistic career path. And then it just like boom, boom, Bit, Supergirl, and it hasn't been the same since. And
that's amazing.
Then writing was the thing that I never expected was gonna happen, and it was not something I was even looking at. It was not even something I was looking for. And then, yeah, as Supergirl was ending, I was like, hey, we should move this character into the comic books. And to illustrate how much I had like zero idea of how comic books worked, I went in like pitching like an ongoing, and I was like, here's what you should do, you know, like find a writer, they should write this story. Like I was like pitching a story with no intention of writing it.
Yeah.
And also pitching like an ongoing series, like having no experience, having a character that hasn't existed in the comics before. Like I was asking for the sun, the moon, and the stars. But they had like a meeting with me, and they were like, yeah, okay, yeah, listening to me. And like, which was like crazy of them.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, they had said, well, our young adult graphic novel line we're looking for more content for that. And we don't have a story about sisters. Could you write one? And I was like, me? Oh no, you've misunderstood why I'm here. And they were like, no, go on, bitch.
They believed in you.
So I was like, okay. So I started working over the pandemic. I started working on this pitch, on the graphic novel. And then over the course of writing that, I've, it's gone on the back burner, it's gone on the front burner, it's moved around, because in the interim, while I've still been writing this, I've got like 45 pages to go. I did DC Pride 2021 date night. I helped Tom pen Dreamer's debut in Superman Son of Kal-El 13. I wrote a 10-page for Lazarus Planet just last week. A short Harley Quinn story I wrote came out having nothing to do with Dreamer. It's been so crazy because it's the thing that I was never expecting. I didn't know how to do it. I wasn't poring over comic books as a kid. I was in the middle of the woods. I didn't live near a comic book store.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's one of those things that, as like cheesy as it sounds, like it just like feels right. And like I was just like, oh my God, this is something I think I'm really meant to be doing.
That's
like,
awesome.
I love this for me. And it's been really fun, and I like it, and I get to, you know, keep working with this character that I love, and I get to see her do all of the things that I wanted to do on the show that we didn't get the opportunity to do.
That's so great.
And I just get to like show people like how cool and powerful and awesome this character is.
Yeah.
So of course now DC has really unleashed a beast, and now every time, you know, they just get bombarded with emails being like, "Hey, hi, it's me again. How you feeling? So how do we feel about Dreamer for this? Huh? I know it's completely unrelated to the story you want to write, but I think that we would really benefit if we just threw Dreamer in this. I'm not saying we need to make her the main character. I'm just saying we could probably kill everybody else, and you know, we don't even need them there in the first place. I think this could be a one-woman show." How do we feel? Why are you leaving?
Next, we're going to be asking you to write an entire universe of movies. That would be awesome.
Kevin Feige who? James Gunn who?
By next week.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you. So, I mean, I'm tripping over my words here. Trans representation is obviously super important. You played a trans superhero on Supergirl, which I mean is kind of like the ultimate representation.
Yeah.
And most recently, you've been playing Lisa, who I think most of the audience is just kind of accepting as like assumed cisgender.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, I mean, whatever part you play, you're automatically bringing important representation to the role.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about, what are your feelings on playing transgender characters versus playing assumed cisgender characters?
Yeah. I mean, for me, there's not a ton of difference. Like if they're cisgender characters, obviously I can still pull on experiences for myself as a trans woman, because suffering is suffering. And and it's inevitable, and only by meeting it with compassion can we truly grow. But you know, like my experiences I can plug that into, you know, I'm an actor, I can plug that into to whatever. I think the important thing is, you know, when you see a character on screen being played by a trans woman, we don't know if she's cis or not, we don't know if she's trans or not. I think it contributes to the conversation affirming that trans women are women. I think we historically have been led to believe that trans women look a certain way, the "we can always tell" sort of you know, bullshit that flies around. And I think when people see a character and they're like, "Oh my God, I love this character. This actress is really good. Like, let me look her up, yada, yada. Did you know I'm really good?" I'm like, I was like saying, I was like, "Okay, Nicole, simmer down." Fucking tooting your own horn here. No, but you know, like they like an actress or they like a character, and so they go and they look up the actor, and then oh, she's trans. Well, that's weird. Well, she didn't really look. Oh, light bulb moment. I think it does that. I think it just and yeah, I think it contributes to that conversation. And you know, I think, and we, you know, you get the conversation where people are like, "Oh well, you know, oh what, cis people can't play trans people and trans people can play cis people," and I'm like, look, you want to start writing an equivalent amount of trans roles as you do cis roles, then we can have that conversation. Until then, shut the fuck up.
Thank you.
There is no shortage. Okay, plentiful, bountiful, even.
Yes. So I guess that really is the most important thing. It's just we need more transgender roles.
Yeah, see, just regardless if the roles themselves are trans or cis, seeing a transgender person in real life, on screen, thriving, existing, being seen, especially in a time when queer performers are being legislated against and you know, this, that, and the other thing, being able to turn on the TV and see a trans person up there, it's no big thing. That is vital.
Now, your story in particular is really incredible because I mean, it seems like your family was just super supportive, and you knew at such a young age.
Yeah.
that you were female, but you have a twin brother.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine, as somebody myself, I have siblings, but they're much older than me. I didn't really grow up with them.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're the exact same age. You're playing together and everything. I mean, you had to.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine you had to. Both of you probably realized that there was something really different. That you were really
Yeah.
different from each other.
Yeah.
And how did having a twin brother kind of play into your realization that you were?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, my family is very supportive, especially now. It wasn't always the case. When I came out, roughly, turn of the century, the year 2000, I there was no information about really trans people, but especially not about trans children. And I can get into all this, but my dad didn't know how to deal with it, long story short. And so he pulled back. And my mom was, freaking out because she didn't know what was happening. She was doing everything she could, just try to dig up any information that she could. My brother, there wasn't really a moment where we realized or found out, or because him and I, Jonas never cared. Jonas always saw it as, I know I'm speaking for him a little bit, but I think that our relationship for him, and as it is for me, it was less hinged on whether or not this is my brother or my sister. This is my twin. It doesn't really matter what my twin is identifying as. This is the closest person to me in the world. And
That's awesome.
It wasn't a matter of either of us realizing, because I think it was a simultaneous understanding. And I never had to explain it to him. I never had to tell him. He just kind of got it and he understood. And I was
so great.
very thankful for that, because he never questioned me. I was always, and I think that's part of, and I've never really gotten into this, but I think that's part of why I had the ability to be so stubborn with my parents, is that I saw my brother affirming me. And I was like, nah, see, fuck you guys. See, I know it's possible. I know I know you can do it. Because this infant is doing it.
I'm just imagining
you possess the capability to affirm me.
I'm just imagining little 5-year-old Nicole saying, fuck you guys.
With my bowl cut. No, fuck you guys.
I had one of those too. So here's an interesting question for you. What is something that you think that normally well-intentioned, self-proclaimed allies still get wrong when they are trying to stick up for their transgender friends?
I mean, I don't know if this is necessarily something they get wrong, but it's just it's a behavior that I think especially when we're correcting pronouns, it's so funny to me. Sometimes cis straight allies will do the most when they're correcting, or if they themselves mess up, it's oh my god, they are, oh my god, I'm sorry, she, I'm like, are you on drugs?
I hope you ask every person that does that.
I'm like, bro, you are tweaking the fuck out.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, I think, and and I don't even know if this is as much advice for even allies as just for everybody. I think we are now that the language is more readily available, now that the conversation is being had, I think that we are all existing in an area of such hyper self-consciousness. And I think it's very important for all of us to take a step back and realize that people make mistakes. that we're unlearning a lot of stuff, and that the process can be messy, and it doesn't always happen linearly. It doesn't always happen not organically. It does happen organically. You just have to you have to give yourself the space to do it. And I think like everyone just needs to take it down a notch, because I think it's been so blown up into this crazy, through all the fear mongering and scapegoating and rhetoric coming from right-wing extremist groups. I think that everyone's so on edge. And I think allies are so on edge because they're like, we don't want to be that. We want to be good. We want to be. And it's like, we understand. An example is my grandfather as like the last person that you ever would have thought got it, accepted me, didn't hit me. But I remember him messing up and apologizing, which like to my dad was like, my father just apologized. Like he was like,
that's awesome.
I was like, where was that? But I was like, I don't know, 8. And I said, thank you, Grandpa. I know it's hard. I appreciate you trying. And I think that's the effort here. When we see people trying, it's not that you mess up. It's not that you slip up. We understand. We're humans. We make mistakes. Human error is a thing. We can tell the difference between an honest mistake and malice.
Yeah.
And I think if people need to understand that if you are not malicious, if you are just making a mistake, you're met with grace, and it's an understanding and compassion. Now, if you're a bitch, well,
watch out.
The wilderness hears you.
Yes. We're all coming for you.
I'm not saying I'm gonna eat a person, but
I wouldn't blame you. I would.
What is it? Long pork.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna Yeah, you keep up the antics, we'll make long pig out of you.
Yeah.
No, there's something to be said. There's something to be said for meeting people where they're at.
I think absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I have a friend of mine who I've kind of lost touch with over the years. Was always a little, I mean, I'm, as far left as you can get. And he was kind of always a little like center, kind of right leaning.
Yeah,
but
center.
Still had but I mean, he still had a decent heart. And this was years ago, and we were discussing the bathroom issue in North Carolina. And he's all about, law and order, following the rules. I'm like, okay, so let's say I go in to use the bathroom somewhere. I was assigned female at birth. I'm a female now. I identify as a female. I've got on a t-shirt and jeans, have my hair up in a hat, and am like have a hoodie on, and people mistake me for a male. What's your argument then? And that actually helps him realize, you're right. It's just mean. Those are his exact words. It's just mean. You're absolutely right. There's no argument.
I wish, as we were having this conversation, I wish we could just like boil it down to its root. It's just mean. That all of this stuff, all the things people are trying to justify, they're saying, oh, well, scientifically, oh, well, chromosomes, oh, well, you are looking for an excuse to be mean. That's all this is. You don't give a shit. You never gave a shit. You don't know what chromosomes are half the time. Like you don't even know. Like they're saying like, oh, well, biology, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bitch, I know you didn't pass biology. I know you didn't. Oh, well,
God.
Women's sports. Name 3 teams in the WNBA. Go ahead, do it. I can't.
Right? Chicago Sky, because I'm in Chicago. That's about all I know.
You wanna care about women fairness in women's sports? Pay them what you pay the men. Like, they have a better track record. I know that. I don't know the names of the teams, but I know they win more often.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, for sure.
The things we're saying we're caring about, we don't care about. It's just trying to justify, and that this has been the same always. It is always a matter of how can we justify our bigotry? How can we justify the irrational hatred and fear that we have of certain groups? And I wish we could just boil it down to, no, fuck you, you're just being mean. And this, as far as the bathroom stuff goes, as far as, checking, that exactly what you said has been happening. How many stories have we keep hearing of cisgender women who are being flagged and hey, there's a tranny in here, and then they're like, I'm a cis woman, you bitch.
Yeah. Right. I was misgendered constantly as a kid.
Here's the thing. Transphobia is just misogyny in a hat.
Yeah.
Because we're flagging women who don't look enough like women, who don't present the right way, who don't meet conventional standards of femininity, or we have women, once again, policing how women have to look. And that does not sound like feminism to me. It is about as backwards conservative as you can get.
That's a great point. Point. Let me ask you this, and I'm going to ask you this not only because I think it's a good question, an important question, but I'm also asking for my own benefit.
Okay.
Who are some good trans people that you would recommend following on YouTube or social media?
Okay. So there's this great actor, and she's like an advocate, and she's an actor. Her name's Nicole Maines. And I think everyone should follow her and put her in more shit. No, let me see. I'll pull up the handles and everything because I don't want to get anything wrong.
Sure.
I got a good list. Erin.
Take your time so I can edit all this out.
Yeah, Erin in the Morn. Erin Reed. She is an amazing trans activist, and she stays so on top of all of the legislation and everything. She does. She always updates you. She's on TikTok. She does these great updates, letting you know the good news. She lets you know the bad news. She makes sure you know like what states are the safest for trans people to live in. And she is kind of how I keep track of everything. She's just so on top of it. And her fiance, they just got engaged, is Zooey Zephyr, who is a representative out of Montana. And you may remember her. She was the representative who was recently ejected.
Yes.
Because for speaking out against trans rights. So that's her. So follow her as well, because she's doing really amazing things as well. And we just need more trans representation in government. I was gonna say Alejandra Carabello, another great just like advocate, just keeping up with stuff, is really fantastic. Nominal Naomi does these great. She's getting a lot of fire right now because she just recently she just had a baby, and she's just recently working with her doctor to induce female lactation, and so she's able to breastfeed her child.
And I did just watch something with her. Yeah. She's fantastic.
Yeah. And she does these great debates. She does these great, she's super well researched, super articulate, and also like ruthless. And I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she's catching a lot of flack right now too. So everyone should go support her. And it's so funny because they're like, oh, well, what hormones do you think are your chemicals? And I'm like, what chemical concoction the same shit as when cis women breastfeed, because it's the same tissue, it's the same glands. We're called mammals. We all have mammaries. Like, why do you think men have nipples?
Yes.
Why do you think male nipples exist? If not, they do not also. How many fucking commercials have we seen? If you or a loved one has experienced male lactation, you may be entitled to financial compensation. That's the same shit.
Yeah. No, she really is. She is a beast. I mean, she could debate anybody under the table. She really is.
I love her. scares me a little bit.
Are you a fan of Natalie ContraPoints?
Oh yes! Oh my god, yes.
Fuck. Yeah, I like her a lot.
I love her whole video on J.K. Rowling. Was a fucking masterpiece.
Oh, fantastic.
It was a fucking masterpiece. Oh.
Yeah, she's great. She's one of my top 5 favorite YouTubers for sure.
Yeah, she's great.
So let's talk a little bit about Yellowjackets. Now, were you already a fan of the show, or was coming onto the show kind of your first experience with it?
Coming onto the show was sort of, I knew of it. I knew it was good, and I knew it was like making waves. I just hadn't gotten around to watching it. Also because I didn't have Showtime. And then when I got the show, I got Showtime. And I had like one day off before I started filming, and I binged the show in one day. Nice. And I was like, oh my god, this show is so fucking good. I was so excited. I was like, I'm ready to like go on this show and just eat people.
Yes. Unfortunately, you didn't get put.
I know. Disappointed. I came on with like one of those little lobster bibs, but instead of a lobster, it's just a guy. And I was like,
that's hilarious.
What are we doing? And they're like, no. They're like, Mom, you're in the present. You're not. I said, hey,
it's
let's not rule anything out. Okay, let's just see what happens.
It's like transphobe Trent. You're transphobe Trent bib.
Yeah. They were like, what? Who is this guy? And I was like, well, he's from Reddit.
Oh, I love it. Now, if you could choose any character other than Lisa to play on the show, who would you want to play?
Ooh, Misty.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
Is the answer always Misty? I feel like it should always be.
I think so.
Misty. But you know what? I also wouldn't want to, because I wouldn't want to deprive the world of whatever Christina is doing. I don't know what she's tapped into, but it's fucking golden.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen her in almost everything she's ever been in, and I've never seen her like this.
She's amazing.
I mean, she's always great, but she's just amazing.
I could watch her forever.
Born for this character.
Oh my god, she's amazing.
Is there one person in particular, that one character or one cast member, whichever one you want to say, that you have not had scenes with that you would absolutely love to have scenes with?
Ooh. I mean, just to piss Jonas off, Elijah, because Jonas is such a Lord of the Rings fan.
Okay.
That just really, hey, guess what I did? What'd you do today? I mean, kind of all of the adult Yellowjackets, because I only really got to spend time with Simone and Juliet, and then I had the one scene with Christina, and then we were all in the finale scene together, and I got to like hang out with them and meet them, and oh, I'm wearing sweatpants because I'm pulling a bit of a RuPaul right now. But business in the top, just tired on the bottom.
I'm all about it. All about it.
So kind of all the adult Yellowjackets. I love Sarah, and I think Callie and Lisa would be a really powerful, chaotic team up. So I'd love to see that more.
That would be really interesting. I would like to see that too.
Yeah.
What is your favorite Yellowjackets fan theory?
I think that I'm Pit Girl.
I really hope that's not the case.
That was funny. I was like, okay, we're getting into a little time travel here. I dig it. And you know what? When I first met Samantha and Jasmine, what was the first thing Samantha said? She was like, "Are you Pit Girl?"
Oh my gosh, that's
And
so
I was
funny.
like, girl, ask them. I don't know.
I mean,
I don't think
it
so.
could still happen, but hopefully it won't.
I'm so beyond trying to guess what the show's doing. I'm
Yeah.
so beyond trying to like figure anything out. And I truly applaud the fans who continue to theorize and continue to. I'm like, the game is rigged and it is stacked against you, but you are trying anyway, and I respect the hell out of it.
Do you ever try to like wrangle information out of out of the directors or the writer?
I did, and I got nothing. You know what's funny? Because I heard them mentioning. I heard one of the writers mentioning something about a human sacrifice, and so I was like, "Oh my god, what's going on?" And so I was talking to Simone about it. She didn't fucking believe me. She didn't fucking believe there was gonna be a human sacrifice.
Oh, that's so funny.
And I was like, when have you known me to tell a
lie? Okay. This is my last question. And then I've got a couple of them from the folks on Twitter.
Right.
Biggest TV guilty pleasure?
Guilty pleasure.
Or music. Let's make it TV or music.
I'm not that guilty about my music pleasures.
Yeah,
I'm like a gay nerd. Like, there's no real shame in listening to music, unless the person's an asshole. But I think TV guilty pleasure. That's the other thing. I'm not that guilty about the TV I watch. I guess I'd say like the basic shit, like Say Yes to the Dress, or like The Bachelor, or like Love Is Blind, or like the kind of like, like the stuff of, you're like, oh, I should be watching something cultured.
Yeah. The show also, like you turn off when someone comes in the room that you want to impress,
Oh no. See, I have cultivated a brand of chaotic, messy energy.
There you go.
So I thrive off of people going, bitch, what?
You know what? I'm kind of with you. I mean, I'm a sucker for a good Vanderpump Rules marathon, and I really don't care who knows it at this point.
You know what my not so guilty pleasure is, and I'll tell you what. It's YouTube videos, YouTube compilations, because I don't watch the show.
Okay.
Explicitly the compilations of fight scenes from like the Bad Girls Club.
Yeah, that's
just the fights.
Yeah, I can get down on that.
I want a reunion episode. She comes out that door. She's already got her shoes off, and she is going at a full sprint to fight this girl on stage.
Those fights get a little crazy for sure.
They get a little crazy, and I know I'm supposed to I should not be supporting women fighting women, and I'm like unity and feminism, but also like
take your earrings off already.
but also take the earrings off.
Oh my gosh.
Love it.
I've got a couple of questions from the folks at Twitter.
Okay.
Autistic Bones asks, what is your opinion on I love it. Autistic Bones with a Z.
Oh, okay.
What is your opinion on the Lisa trans headcanons?
I'm fine with it. I mean, this is the thing. I think her story is supported either way. I think I could totally see her, if she was trans, I could totally see her mother. Oh, because at first I was like, we met her mom. Her mom wouldn't have let her transition. However, I could totally believe her mom saying, letting her transition and then holding that as a guilt thing. Like, nobody else would have let you do this. You need me. Like, how are you so mean to me? I let you be who you are. Like this, like a weird. So I could totally buy that. Yeah, I think if people want to headcanon her as trans, I think that's lovely. I think this is the thing. I don't think it holds any. It doesn't change. It wouldn't change her story. It would mean her backstory was a little different, but ultimately her story is still the same. And it doesn't really change anything if she's trans or not. because her story was about her relationship with Natalie and finding the will to live. And so
it was my favorite story of the season, by the way, by far. Like, oh my God. Natalie was my favorite character, so I'm just completely devastated.
I'm so sorry.
But I absolutely, my favorite episode this season was Old Wounds. Just because I love everything about your scenes at your mother's house, and oh my God, it was just so great.
Thank you so much. That scene in the car, we filmed twice. Once when we were doing the episode, and once it was like one of the last things we filmed because we had to go back and reshoot it. That was one of my, because I think if I could have added any scene, I would have loved a scene of Natalie and Lisa shooting the shit. And like, just like, I wanted to see like, what is that friendship like outside of, talking about the cults and, kind of outside of the plot, which is, I understand why that wasn't a scene, because it is a plot driven show. But I would have loved to see a moment or just had some peek into, when they're not in therapies, when they're not doing stuff, like, what do they look like when they're just like hanging out? And that was the closest scene to that. Just Natalie and Lisa driving and going back and forth at each other, and it was really fun. There was we ad-libbed a little bit when they're talking about there was a line that was cut when we were talking about she's like, everyone wears purple, just everyone's favorite color happens to be purple. And there was a line where Lisa mentions like, okay, well, we wanted everyone to, some people come from a lot of money, some people don't, and purple's a gender neutral color. And she goes, it's a gender neutral color. And I'm like, yes, it is. She's like, I don't think that's true. Well, it is. And I was like just going back and forth. It was stupid, but it was really fun.
Oh, I love it. That's cute.
Yeah. I
really love it.
To see more of like these girls like as friends.
One thing I absolutely loved in particular about that episode was there was a part when you guys were in the house and you were Lisa was sitting talking with your mother, and the camera focused on Natalie looking at the pictures on the wall of you and your mother, and you're looking completely miserable in all of them.
Yeah.
And you could see, and the camera really focused heavily on Natalie's reflection.
Yeah.
And it was like you could see like she just looked at Lisa like this is me.
This is me. This girl is me.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
I absolutely love that so much.
Lisa is Natalie, but she's also Javi, but she's also I love it.
Exactly.
But she's also Pink Girl.
Yes. Now, Americated on Twitter would like to know, were you already friendly with Tawny from working on Supergirl?
We didn't actually meet on Supergirl.
Oh, okay.
Because I didn't actually share a scene with her.
Gotcha.
But when we were talking about it, she was like, yeah, I did Supergirl. And I was like, oh my God, that's where I know you from. Holy shit. So that was a really crazy moment. So we didn't actually get a chance to work together on Supergirl. I don't think, unless I'm either forgetful or an asshole. I don't think we worked together on Supergirl. But I was like, oh my God, totally. Like I watched all those episodes. I was like, oh my God, that's where fucking Jesus Christ. Hey girl.
That's awesome. Bally, I apologize. I'm not sure if this is B Hallie or Bally 1228. Would like to know, what is the funniest story you had on set that you're willing to share?
I'm trying to remember. We had a lot of like funny moments, and none of them are coming back to me in this moment. Something that was fun. So we were filming the finale, so there was a lot that we didn't get to see and everything. But I had my iPad with me, and Christina's son was there, and so it was like they were all filming. It was like me, like Christina's son, like we were playing this drawing game that I used to play with my brother as a little kid, called Kill the Bunny. And you'd like draw the bunny, and then one person has to do something that would like kill, like arrows are coming at you, and then the other person would come back and be like force field, and so you just go back and forth until the entire page is filled up. And we played that for like an hour. We played I really got along with her kid. We played like the kick the football game. That was fun. That's not as funny though. And this is probably funny at my own expense. Me trying to be like chill about Simone and Christina, because I just watched. Cause I like when I met Simone, I just watched Obi-Wan, and as we were filming, I had just fucking watched Wednesday, so I was like me trying to be like, hey, you were really awesome. That was good. Yeah. Like, so stupid. So fucking stupid. They're all so good.
No, it had to be.
Funny. They're all really funny.
It had to be a kind of surreal.
Yeah. It was crazy.
I mean,
it was so weird.
Now, where do you... This is a question that was asked by Wilderness Couch, but I think, something that everybody kind of wants to know. So what do you think is next for Lisa? I know that's a really kind of vague question, but I mean, there was some traumatic stuff that happened. And I mean, like you got really close with Natalie, and Natalie's gone, and Lottie is getting taken off to who knows where. And
yeah. So Natalie's gone. Simone's gone. Lottie, excuse me. I'm gonna tell you guys what I told the writers. I was like, I don't know if you guys realize this, because I was talking to them at the after party of the premiere in LA. I was like, I don't know if you guys, this was like intentional or like what, but like, you guys know you've kind of created like the perfect wild card, right? Because like we think about everyone who knows the truth about the Yellowjackets. Mm-hmm. Jeff, Callie, Walter, they all kind of have some allegiance to somebody. Lisa only had ties to Lottie and Natalie, both of whom are gone.
And the 14th Gilly.
Okay, we still have the 14th Gilly. So great. Oh, never mind then. She's fine. She has her fish. But she only has time. So it's really, she's kind of unaccounted for right now. And she doesn't really have anyone. She's not loyal to anyone in the sense that, like, I think she could do some damage. What I would like to see is a Lisa who maybe snaps a little bit. I think she has devoted her life to this intentional community. I think she was ready to go. She'd been trying to unalive herself. Mm-hmm. And along comes this like goddess who bestows upon her like forgiveness and a new sense of self and purpose. And then she meets this other woman who for the first time, like she loved Lottie, but still kind of keeping her dependent on this community and on Lottie. Then comes along Natalie, who is the only person who is saying, bitch, you're fine. Get out of here. Go live your life. Go be a normal person. You possess the capability. You are not like these people. Go get regular clothes. You don't have to be here. The only person who really showed her true love, who told her, you don't have to be dependent on anybody. You are enough. You are a whole person as you are. And then 5 hours later, she dies, saving her.
Gosh. And what's so great about that is that's what Natalie always wanted somebody to tell her, and
exactly. So now I feel like Lisa is like, now I think I could understand Lisa kind of being like, you know what? I did the forgiveness thing. I did every single thing right. I did everything I was supposed to. No one followed those teachings more than Lisa.
Yeah.
And I think now, and look, and now look, where are we now? So I think from Lisa's perspective, it's kind of a, well, what's the point? Well, who fucking cares? Everything was fine. Natalie was getting better. She was doing so good. She was finally starting to accept the teachings. And then these women came along and ruined everything. This Misty character came along.
Yeah.
And ruined everything. I wouldn't be surprised. I would kind of like to see Lisa maybe go after Misty a little bit. I think it's about time.
I can see that.
I think Misty's been going after everybody. I think it may be high time somebody goes after Misty. Or maybe
I can see that.
Maybe Misty goes after Lisa, because it is not like Misty Quigley to leave a loose end. Yeah. And Lisa is a massive loose end. She saw her kill somebody. I can
totally see like.
And she has
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, she saw her kill somebody, and she has no allegiance to anyone.
Yeah.
In the remaining Yellowjackets who are not currently in the loony bin.
Yeah. I could really see like kind of Lisa and Misty almost kind of flip-flopping a little bit, you know? Yeah. That would be really interesting to see. I would love to see Lisa just go off the rails and just.
But also, as Simone and I were talking, Simone was like, so like you're breaking me out, right? She's like, no one else is gonna do it. Someone's gotta break me out of prison.
Yeah, I mean, it's they can't keep her separated there forever. Like maybe an episode, and then but yeah, I'm really interested to see what happens with Lisa and Misty.
Me too. I really hope I get to come back. It's so much fun. I'd love to.
Yeah, I think we all do. I'm sure you'll be back.
Thank you very much.
You know, now we I was so excited because you were kind enough and generous enough with your time to agree to kind of discuss the episode with me a little bit. So yeah, so let's just do do kind of like a mini little recap and talk about kind of, I mean, we could just go over kind of like the big events that happened. I mean, the episode opens with them bringing Javi's body back, which was just heartbreaking.
R.I.P. my dude.
God. And then here's what I
thought. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I thought right up until he died, I thought Javi was Adam.
Really?
That was my personal theory. I was like, Javi survived, he became Adam, and he's getting revenge.
That was such a popular theory.
Well, shit.
I thought it for a little bit too. And then I realized that, okay, well, they kind of led us there.
Yeah. They do a really good job of leading you somewhere and then flipping the script on you.
Yeah.
It's really no use trying to figure out what they're going to do, because they're just going to.
It was kind of.
You are never steering the ship. You think you are, you're not. They are letting you think you're steering the ship.
Yeah. There you go. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Now, let me ask you something, because one thing that I'm trying to reconcile is, so when they come back with Javi's body, Natalie, God, it was so heartbreaking. Travis, like, as much as I hated Travis in season 1, I mean, my heart was just breaking so hard for him in this episode. And he sees Natalie, who he is assuming is probably dead.
Yeah.
He sees Natalie and he gets so excited and runs to her, only to realize that little brother is dead. And Natalie looks at him and says, "The wilderness chose." But then a little while later, Ben is trying to get her to go back with him, and he says, "You're not like the other girls," and she says, "I'm worse."
Mhm.
So, I mean, what do you think she meant by that when she was talking to Travis and saying the wilderness chose? But like a few minutes later, she's blaming herself
I
for
mean, I
Javi's
think
death,
that
essentially.
I think this is a peek into, you know, what we say is not always what we mean. And what we say
Yeah.
is not always the truth. And I don't think both are intrinsically true at face value. I think, I mean, listen, and I'm not, but I think my interpretation would be partially maybe trying to make it, maybe it's better somehow if Javi dying was like this thing that the people you're surrounded with didn't choose.
Yeah.
If it was a destined thing, like, you know, the same way it was meant to alleviate the guilt of all the girls of, oh, we're just going to let the wilderness choose and that's going to make us feel better about our actions. Similarly for Natalie, I think, but also maybe perhaps selfishly trying to protect that relationship with Travis. You know, like, I didn't let your brother die in my place. It was the wilderness. It wasn't me.
Yeah.
And maybe that was selfish. Maybe that was selfless. Maybe that was her trying to protect him or her trying to protect her relationship with him. Who's to say? But I think what she said to Coach Ben was the truth, because as we see with the choices she makes with Lisa, I think that was truly her trying to alleviate some negative whatever about what happened to Javi. I mean, how do you make sense of something like that? How do you go to the person you love and say, your brother's dead? I kind of let it happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's tough to reconcile it, but essentially it's, you know, they're standing right there with axes and getting
Yeah.
ready to kill her.
Yeah.
And
What do you
I
do?
mean,
You
she
do what you have
didn't
to
really
do.
have a choice. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was having this conversation recently, I think in another interview I did, where, you know, people go back and forth about, is the wilderness real? And
Mhm.
is the supernatural, is it really supernatural out there? And I think that's such a scary thought, because, like, what if this is something that this like shared hallucination, this shared fever dream
Mhm.
they're all having to justify the shit that they have to do to survive? Because when you're a group of children doing the most heinous shit, how do you even begin to justify that? How do you even begin to understand, you know, that it's just not fair, that there is
Yeah.
no justice in it, that you do what you have to do to survive? Why can't there be some malevolent force, if for no other reason, to take the guilt and the shame off of us so we can survive, so we can do what we have to do? The show
Yeah.
is so fucking good.
It is. It really is. Now, what did you I thought this was super cool. What did you think about Shauna after she cuts up the Javi meat?
Mm-hmm.
She brings it in and she immediately defers to Travis and lets him, you know, be the one to kind of kick things off. I mean, if he walked away, would they just not have followed suit? Would they have eaten? You know, I mean,
They were going to
I
eat
thought
that
it was kind
child
of cool.
regardless.
Yeah. But taking a bite of a raw heart.
I mean, first of all, love the iconography of it all.
Yeah.
It's a little fucked up.
Yeah.
People being like, here's your brother. Like, do you
Right?
want first dibs?
Yeah.
Like, I don't quite know what to make of that. I'm not.
I think it might also be.
I think it's a little fucked up.
It might also be an easy way for them to kind of live with themselves a little more. Like,
yeah, like, oh, he said it was okay.
Yeah.
Everything. I mean, I think it goes back to like everything they're doing out there, just trying to justify it in some way, trying to make sense of just the fucking impossible.
Yeah, for sure. Now, the adult timeline was really interesting because, I mean, this idea of a hunt started off with Shauna just trying to buy time. Eventually, as the episode goes on,
you cut out. Say that again.
Oh, I apologize. So this idea of a hunt in the adult timeline started off as just a way for Shauna to kill time. Everyone's looking at her like she's crazy, and it eventually just kind of keeps developing into something real.
I feel like there probably were other options before.
Yeah.
Especially, this is a group that tends to get carried away.
Yeah.
I think we probably could have been like, if we needed to kill time, Scrabble. You know, if we needed to kill time, what's a game that takes fucking forever? Monopoly. You know, I feel like there was. How about we all just journal for a minute, huh? Like, I don't know. I think there were probably other things they probably could have done.
It's really telling though. It's a really good look into their psyches in the teen timeline, because I mean, it started off like just that Shauna was trying to buy them some time to figure out what to do with Lottie. But then eventually it's like the mania just kind of took over.
As it does, yeah.
And it became real. I mean, they manifested this. They're in civilization. They're adults. All this stuff happened 25 years ago. And they somehow managed to bring it back just by putting the words out there.
I mean, it's like an addiction.
Yeah.
Almost. Like they are addicts. They did this for because of course they did, because they had to survive, and you do what you have to do to survive. But now that you're in an okay place, like, you can't just have a sip.
Yeah.
You can't just, oh, let's have a hunt. It's not real. Of course it's going to be real.
Yeah.
Because you have Van. And I think Van takes things way too far. I think
really
Misty's dangerous. I think Misty's dangerous. I think Lottie's dangerous. We're sleeping on Van. That girl is a full psychopath. Because she just gets in she's like a little too excited to always like betray everybody and like side with Lottie and be like, yeah, let's do some heinous fucked up shit. I'm like, I think those wolves took out the part of your brain that feels empathy. Like, I was like, you are scary, bitch.
Well, I mean, when they all got to the compound, she looked terrified when she saw Lottie.
Because we know what Lottie does to her.
Yeah. And, I think she just saw her and was like, holy shit, I'm going to fall right back into this, aren't I? It's like Lottie almost kind of had her in a trance, and she fell right back into it.
I mean, the woman ran a cult. Are we surprised?
Yeah.
She's very worshipable.
Yeah. And, I think, God, I wish Van had never stayed there and just dropped her off like was intended. But I think she just immediately, just seeing Lottie, I think it just kind of took her over again.
Yeah.
There's this whole theory that I don't buy into, that she like kind of had planned all this because she has cancer and she wanted to get everybody together to do a sacrifice so she could survive. I don't think it was anything was planned out like that.
No, I don't think.
But I do think that she is. I do think that Lottie has this this hold over her. And we saw at the end of the episode when Lottie said to her, the wilderness chose, you'll see. She had this horrified look on her face. Like, holy shit, I fell right back into this, didn't I?
Mm-hmm. And she was a little too excited.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was a little too happy. She was all too happy to cancel the plans, to cancel the fucking ambulance.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's, I think she's going to be kind of reeling from it a little bit in the next season.
I think all of them are. Their actions, every single choice that they made led to Natalie's death.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I mean, except for, even Shauna had the least,
the smallest part. She just did a hunt.
Exactly.
What was that?
I mean, she wasn't serious, but she still put it out there, and that's what got it started.
I never thought that the panther would eat my face.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, yeah, let's just give a bunch of deranged, traumatized, historically bloodthirsty women knives, masks. Just see what happens. I'm sure we're gonna, one of them is deranged, hallucinating, and is running a fucking cult. But no, I think we're gonna be fine. Bitch.
Oh man. And she was just hanging out like with cute little Bruce just like a day or two ago, and now, oh god.
And now here we are.
I do think it would be interesting. Now, do you think that Lisa's going to like run from the compound, or do you think that she's going to stay there? I mean, she really doesn't have anywhere else to go, right? I mean, doesn't want.
There was a scene that they cut, and I was really sad that they cut, of when Lottie's getting put into the ambulance and everything's happening, and everyone's looking and freaking out, and the cops are there. There was a shot of Lisa in normal clothes slipping away.
Wow.
And she sees it, and she just and in the script it was written, she slips away into the darkness.
Wow.
And
that's interesting.
I don't know why they cut that, because I was like, hello? That was ominous as shit.
Yeah.
Hello? But so I don't know why they cut that. But it is I don't think Lisa would have stayed. I don't think she thinks that's a safe place anymore. Certainly not. Yeah. And if for nothing else, and for no other reason, to honor Natalie's last wishes.
Yeah.
Good point. Like, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
But I would love to see Nia. Nia. I would love to see Lisa on just a fucking
or Nia,
revenge.
Or
Nia, yeah. I'll do a little Parent Trap. I'll play both.
Yeah, just side by side. It's been done before, the crossover, Yellowjackets, Supergirl crossover.
Totally.
Spin-off crossover.
Boom.
What did you think about Walter kind of just coming up with all of this at the last minute and basically blackmailing Sarah, who I call Sarah Dusha. That's my name for him. He essentially just finds a way to pin it all on Kevin, and then blackmails Sarah Dusha. What drove me nuts is that Natalie died, and we still have to see this douchebag at the end.
Shit. Are we surprised that the fellow citizen detective is also off his fucking rocker?
No, not at all.
Look, this is a dude who looks at Misty Quigley and is like, that's the one.
Right? Can you imagine their children?
Deranged psychopaths. Oh, Oh, you mean their children? You mean that swarm of black locusts? Yeah. Oh yeah. Their children. War, famine, disease, and death. Yeah.
Yeah.
War.
Yeah.
War. What are the four horsemen? War.
The four horsemen.
Famine, plague.
I forget now. I can't remember. But yeah. Yeah. We'll just they'll just name them horsemen 1, 2, 3, and 4.
All right. Teach them to count first.
Yes.
When you master your numbers and shapes, you earn a name. Okay.
Yes, exactly. That would be a fun spinoff. God, how I'm just so glad that there's something so sad that Natalie and Kevin both died that same night, but I'm so glad that they didn't find out.
Yeah.
If they were going to go out anyway, I'm glad that they didn't find out about the other.
Yeah.
That would have been really sad.
That would have just, why do we need to add more heartbreak into it?
Even though yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm really sad that that it wasn't flipped around and it couldn't have been. But I mean, it couldn't have been because Kevin would not have been able to be blackmailed. Kevin's too straight-laced. He was Sarah Dusha would easily let Kevin take the rap for everything.
Listen, this is not a show for good people. All right. Good people don't do well in the world of Yellowjackets. You either kill or you get killed.
So we only have a few more minutes, but I want to ask you really quick. Thoughts on Nat being the Antler Queen?
Maybe.
I still think it's going to be a revolving role, though.
I think that would be more interesting. I think that would be very. I mean, I don't know. I think maybe Shauna.
Yeah.
I mean, the way that it was very interesting. The way that she held on to all the memorabilia, and the way she held on to those journals. Had that been me?
Yeah.
Oh, in the fire pit day 1.
Yeah.
So it's I wonder if she doesn't have some more reason to cling to it. I don't know if that role would provide that. I think it'd be interesting. Maybe if it's, I'm going to throw out a wild theory. Antler Queen, but it's only sleepwalking Taissa.
That's interesting.
It is not Taissa. It is specifically the evil wilderness Taissa, the embodiment of.
I could see that.
Okay.
That's actually something to think about. I hadn't thought about that one.
Boom.
Very cool.
I'm pulling that out of my ass for the sake of being interesting. I was like, I love it. I was like, I gotta come up with a cool pitch.
I absolutely love it. Well, that is about all the time that we've got for tonight. But I am so grateful to you for joining me tonight.
This was so much fun. Thank you for this.
Yes, absolutely. I had a blast, and I can't wait to see. I'm sure they're going to want you back.
I hope so. It would be really fun. I think it would be really, really fun to see what happens next.
Yeah, for sure. Trouble.